Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be channeling some general messages. It is the Libra new moon. This is not necessarily a Libra new moon reading. It is a timeless reading. I'm going to be channeling some messages and also reading from my own deck of my own creation, the Mercury Oracle. And so let's just get right into it. I'm going to pull a couple cards just to start out, but I do want to thank anybody who has been following along with the journey of getting this out. It has been harrowing. It has changed my life very, very much. And also just been very, very humbling. And sometimes I think we lose time when stuff doesn't go as planned, but I always think of I can't remember the whole quote, but when you make a plan, God laughs, right? So it's been kind of fun. Recently, I was doing some saint working and was trying to remove anything that was blocking my light, basically. And I said, well, please give me an experience that will remove this. In the I Ching, they call it the well of goodness, right? So I said, unblock my well of goodness. So called upon some saints, and lo and behold, right then I got an email from a friend that said, you should check this out to be in a studio audience. And the next day, I got pulled out of the studio audience on Warner Brothers lot and was put in a show on HBO. So that was really cool. And tomorrow I'm going on Price is Right. Just we're just having fun. But wish me luck. But just all sorts of changes right now in the air. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? So I'm just going to begin pulling. So the first messages that are really coming through is kind of reflecting what I was saying right off of the bat. Interesting, we have two crossroads here. We've got Neptune. We've got our passions leading the way. Whenever we feel like we're out of control, oftentimes it's because we have very little control of life to begin with. Like, what we can control is very, very small, and sometimes even that is out of control. Sometimes there is divine intervention. Sometimes we have different, our own demons trying to work behind the scenes to teach us something at the end of the day. But the way that we get things into control is by putting anything that is our own demon, which is an elusive teacher spirit, to work. We put it to work. So if you have a tendency to get really distracted, instead of getting distracted, make that demon meditate, right? So whenever you're feeling distracted, you sit down and you meditate instead. So one of the things that's coming through right away is talking about inner chaos, and how inner chaos can be put into order or expedited into order through first recognizing our demons and naming them, giving them names, whether that is the demon of blank, or name them a name, and then putting it to work when you see these things coming up. And you'd be surprised at how quickly you can change patterns in your life. And one of the things that this is leading to is this period of saturnal waiting, of waiting to temper you into something. And this has been going on with my life quite a lot in the recent years. Actually, Saturn transits take a very long time to go through your chart, and when Saturn is there, it is there. And one of the most powerful questions I've learned to ask my system and the other systems that I work with, and even myself, is what would appease Saturn today. Saturn's day is Saturday. Some people use that for spirit working, things like that. But for you, this wait will be tempered and shortened. If you feel like you are stuck or waiting, it's going to be tempered or shortened by going inwardly into the unknown, and then outwardly organizing, if that makes sense. So first we go in and we address what is inside of us, and then we go and we organize based off of what we find. Now this is interesting. We've got two of these crossroad cards flanking this guy here, which is Wait Until Dark, Saturn, and Embrace the Void. This has come up a couple times. I haven't really seen this until yesterday, which popped up in my own reading, which is like a double crossroads. It's like you have major choice, and that devil is at the crossroads, right? So when we are at a crossroads, it's best to sit, to wait, and to listen to ourselves. Now, where is it that our passion can take us? Where does our passion want to take us? That is a really good base question for you now. Where are your dreams trying to lead you? Where are they trying to come into fruition? Because we have all of this energy moving right now. It's kind of almost a release and a change with all of the sky weather going on, with all of the political stuff going on. We have the opportunity to come back into contact with a life that we dream about, but we have to first understand what it is and then speak it into existence. All of this, it's like there's a lot of stuff around using your voice and using your mouth. These cards are together right now. There's a literal mouth and then a mouth speaking. So speaking these things into existence. Now, I highly recommend anybody to build an altar. I just turned an entire corner of my place. I like to do some like basic janky woodworking. So I made a whole shelf and a whole working situation. And I sit there and I will voice my concerns, my thoughts, my needs, my hopes at that altar, doing all sorts of different workings. Now, this can work too in that void space, but let's get back to this crossroads. It's like major, double major decision coming up, or maybe two decisions. Let's see what comes out here. Where you have felt stuck. One is where you have felt stuck, and the other is where you have felt probably disembodied. We have to live in a way that is embodied to end up where we want to be. That is the key to any manifestation at the end of the day. They always say that feeling is the secret, right? So if we are trying to feel and be back in ourselves, if we are totally present within ourselves, life becomes a lot more easy. We're able to shine, we're able to attract, we're able to be attractive. So where we've been disembodied, this is a choice for you to come back into embodiment. One way will lead into, again, those like passionate energies, and in towards creation through your dreams, and the other will lead back into a place of reflection and joy and fun. So either way, you've got a really wonderful decision that you need to make in regards to embodiment. How do you want to present? How do you want to be surrounded by energy? How do you want to move towards embodiment? One is through this feels like alignment with your dreams and using pure creative force. And the I Ching, that is I Ching 1, that is pure yang. So using that, it feels like artists, or you may be an artist, art is coming through, but using that masculine principle of creation and going forth. Now the other way is cultivating an inner sense of joy and then sharing it immediately. Now this feels like a warning to choose a direction. Again, it's bringing up directions and choosing a direction. You need to be open towards choosing a firm direction, because whatever direction you take right now is going to be incredibly important. So this way might be a little more fun, but it might feel a little more chaotic and directionless. So choose a direction, choose a vision. If you don't have like a vision board or organized place where you can keep what you hope to bring into your life in one place, then do so now. I love a nice Pinterest board. I love a nice, I have mine as my home page, actually, so I just click the home button and look at it anytime. And I do so on the daily. And it's made major changes in my life already. I've already got a lot of these things knocked off the list in a number of months. So the other major choice you have is how to get unstuck from a situation that might feel like you're up against a wall or a locked door. Now, one way is swiftly going into, this feels like communicating with ancestors and calling in your ancestral team, working with the dead, and really listening to what they have to say about your inner world and where you might have been protecting yourself quite a lot. So this way will open you up. I think this way will like soften you and bring you back to a place of nourishment of yourself, self-care, taking your time, and kind of glowing up. I like this route. This is the responsible route. We should be doing this weekly at least. Sometimes I do this kind of practice on the daily, but going in and listening to what your guides and your ancestors, and taking really intentional time. A lot of the messaging around here is about intention, taking intentional direction, taking intentional, making intentional creation that is aligned with your passion and with your words. And you know, whenever I read these things, these are also, I always try to take them to heart as messages that are coming through for me as well. And it feels very, very on point that this direction of unlocking that door that feels locked is one of self-care. How do we care for ourselves in a way that is more attuned towards expanding and towards feeling comfortable in our body and feeling beautiful and feeling attractive. And there's also something here about, you know, if you have been listening and looking at your actual dreams, your sleep dreams, there's always kind of an echo of the future coming back through our dreams and just in waking life as well. But your dreams might be very, very telling right now. I've been tracking my dreams in a spreadsheet actually, so I can look at all of the motifs, and oh my God, revealed so much that I wasn't aware of. So fun at the end of the day. And then we've got this other way where we're ready to ground and basically, it's interesting, we've got this way, right? One way feels, it's like we're opening up this door so we can eventually free ourselves by self-reflection. So you may have been doing a lot of work already. I feel like a lot of us are. And it's almost as though you're not the same person that you were just a few months ago even. So leaning into that and allowing yourself through a practice of grounding, through a practice of meditation, and maybe even some mirror work, really looking at yourself and the narratives and the situations that are holding you back, and getting free through that process. And we've got grounding yourself twice. So getting grounded, sometimes we have really lofty ideas about what we need to do. And most of the time, we just need to sit and cultivate our inner world a little bit better through groundedness, through, I don't know why this is coming through, but like a Taurus style practice. Yeah, this is all about renewal and building a home within yourself. So the directions you can choose, one feels pretty swift. They both feel kind of swift, but one is much more grounded. it's interesting that these are even choices, because it feels like one big choice, and maybe that's why they had two of the crossroad cards. But removing anyone in you, like versions of yourself that are trying to, or that are holding you back, or that are not paying their dues, that are just taking and slowing us down, and getting rid of those by building better narratives around ourselves through grounding practices. If you're not grounding, the best way to do this, honestly, is to go somewhere quiet. I like to find a place with birds. I don't do it nearly often enough. Putting our feet in the water, that kind of thing. But getting free through that self-reflection that happens within almost like meditative states. Now, what else do we want them to know? Saying stop trying to find other realities right now. Stop trying to figure out what if I do this, then this will happen, that kind of thing. It's like an indecisiveness. It's saying no. The way forward through all of these paths is to stop and work on yourself. The mirror is popping up quite a lot. We're talking about getting free. Now, how do we actually work on ourselves? I illustrated this person talking to themselves, and there's a bunch of flowers coming out of the mirror, the person in the mirror looking back at them, because we free ourselves by removing old stories and replacing them with stories of power, of beauty, of love, of self-love, of self-care, of understanding that the journey that has brought us here is one of complexity, and it is behind us now. We carry it with us, but we don't need to let it define us. So how do we do the work? I always turn people on to things like EMDR. I like journaling practices, but more than anything, it's about how we look at and how we speak about ourselves inwardly on a daily basis. So yeah, it's coming through over and over. About being truthful. We're letting our passion lead us forward, and then we're also speaking from a place of centered truth, right? So if we actually sit and look in the mirror long enough, we're able to see that a lot of the narratives that we have about ourselves and our capabilities are not necessarily even true. So it's like being lighthearted, playing. So I would suggest that if you felt stuck for a while, to allow yourself, I was going to say to find friends, and then it actually popped out, find others, find playmates, find people that you really align with. Right now is a really great season for this, for finding people that are helping you find peace and play and movement, and it's like it's just been a matter of time. It's like you've been waiting under the water. It's like you've been waiting, but that's good medicine sometimes. When I was learning some weather magic, how do you make it rain? One of the best tricks is to wait for an opportune time to do that. So now is the opportune time, and you're able to finally spread your wings and show yourself. You may have felt like you've had to hide part of your power, part of your shine for a really long time, but not anymore. You don't really need to do that anymore, because you've got people coming through that are in alignment with you, like they will understand who you are and see your potential, and not try to drag you through the mud or slow you down or misunderstand you. What else do we want to know? Yes, wonderful. this is a great time to return to a place. The whole gestalt of the message here is returning to a place of love for yourself and warmth for yourself, and allowing yourself to share with your friends, but really coming back to a place of understanding your own power. You've been through a lot, it looks like you've been through a lot, and learning how to embody the higher principles of self-expression. But in doing so, you may have had to hide for a very long time and kind of dim your light. But now, it's like Leo energy. It's time to bust out. It's time to share. It's time to love yourself enough that other people will love you as well. And this is going to propel your career forward. You've got Capricorn twice, which is another Saturnal energy, but Capricorn is all about climbing ladders, finding success, and maybe even getting some sort of contractual agreement that is that can help you get free. But more so, what is the timeline on this? Yes. Yeah, and you just have to go through it. You have to fly through that gateway when it's there. Just go for it. Make sure you don't do anything reckless, obviously. But when these doorways open up, that's only for a certain amount of time. It's only for a certain amount of time that these doorways open up. Sorry, it's dark if I get it close, but got a gateway card here with the dragonfly. It's like now is the time to go after the things that you want, the people that you want to surround yourself with. And you know, we always want to be cultivating this, but if we don't cultivate an inner world that can hold this stuff, it doesn't really matter. You can't meet your highest and greatest self if you're just totally depressed. That can be part of the trajectory, but here it's saying, like, look, it's been a crazy year already, but there is a very large shift happening for the majority of us in regards to money and career and friendships and expansion. You've cleaned house. This person is impeccable. And now you're expanding. This says expand your consciousness. So I really, really love that. And it's like foundational. It's foundationally here. This change can be held and grown. Now, what is this energy? What do we want to know about this energy here? It's going to be it may be uncomfortable. It may feel like you're pushing yourself. It may feel like you are in unfamiliar territory, but that's how we become greater versions of ourselves. These are learning opportunities for us to really look and be the part. This is all really, really wonderful today. And Brown Bear is coming up too. It's like, this strikes me as balance. We've got going through discomfort for growth on one side, and then we've got relaxing and chilling and being comfortable and taking time to reset. If you go into new situations, if you have a new job, or if you are in front of a lot of people, you want to show up energized. You want to show up as someone who sets an example for taking care of themselves. that's a good friend as well. Someone who takes care of themselves enough that they can show up for you too, because you've got a really beautiful new beginning blossoming in front of you. Now, this is a general message for today. I'm keeping it kind of short and sweet. I will come back on Thursday, and that rhythm might change. I'm going to do it a couple times a week. We're keeping it at half an hour today just because I'm getting into that rhythm. But I do want to say thank you again to everybody who supported this project and is helping with the shipping of these things, as well as I just want to let you know that I do a lot of things. I'm a crazy person, and I'm going to start sharing more and more of what I do through these channels. So if you enjoy a good laugh and a good creation, I'm an artist, I am a creator, I love systems, I love making costumes, I love all sorts of stuff. Come along for the ride. I'm gonna be having fun, and wish me luck on The Price is Right tomorrow. Dun 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 dun. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Peace.